There is always a theme when it comes to people who share the same views. We often believe that people who are dressed a certain way may act differently from us, think differently from us, and have different views as us. For the topic of illegal immigration, many people think that the supporters of deporting illegal immigrants look like this. Truthfully, yes, there are people who do look like this with the same views as described, but many people are those from hardworking backgrounds that took years out of their lives to go through vigorous processes to leave their home country and start a new life across the world. During the Vietnam War, my maternal grandfather served for the Southern Vietnamese Army. He served as a spy and while on duty was taken prisoner by the Viet Cong. Years later, he was given an opportunity to start a new life in the United States. My father, on the other hand, resisted the Viet Cong, fled by boat to Hong Kong, and was granted asylum by the United States Embassy. To this day, my father still exemplifies the true definition of an American. Nothing was given to either my father or grandfather, but they learned to take in American culture, learn the English language, and pay their dues. Currently, other parts of the world see the United States as being in a problematic time. With our presidential choice, riots happening in our own cities, and even protests against decisions made by Congress, nothing seems to be alleviating the views from other countries. In the bigger scheme of things, these problems will eventually fade, but illegal immigration will always be a problem for our country until we decide to act. Opinions of the citizens of the United States and opinions from other people from around the world range when it comes to legal immigration, but a few things are certain. The United States' responsibilities for our citizens should come second to none. People that have the desire to live in the United States must assimilate to the laws and regulations, and immigrants, both legal and illegal, must contribute to the general society and economy in which we live. First and foremost, we must take care of our own people, economy, and country. According to Peter B. Gemma, as found on the Procon webpage, also a National Executive Committee member of the Constitutional Party, 75% of those on the most wanted criminals list in Los Angeles, Phoenix, and Albuquerque are illegal immigrants. With this fact alone, it helps to prove that the economy of our country would be able to be improved and that it would leave a safer environment for our citizens. In 2013, it was reported that the average annual full-time taxpayer cost to house an inmate was $31,000. This being said, if we were to push an effort to drive down illegal immigration numbers and to strengthen our borders, ultimately our economy could be on the road to recovery. In simple terms, the attempt to fix the illegal immigration problem would help the people save more tax dollars, therefore having more money circulated around different businesses and shops, and ultimately boosting the economy. Another problem we are seeing with illegal immigrants is the unwillingness to assimilate to America. The idea of wanting America and its benefits without being American is nonsense. Every day, we, the citizens of the United States, are reaping the benefits of living in our beautiful country, with benefits ranging from something so simple as to reliable infrastructure to something much more complex, like our freedom to do almost whatever we like. With these benefits come work and dues that are needed to be paid, an example being taxes. Although many illegals who are working in the United States are paying taxes, they are absorbing more than they are contributing. According to an editorial found on Investors.com, the Heritage Foundation in 2013 found that illegals contribute an average of $10,000 in total taxes, which include federal and payroll as well as local taxes, but use almost $24,000 in welfare and services. These numbers can be compared to the average citizen's numbers, with numbers on average of about $39,000. On top of costing the hardworking citizens thousands of dollars yearly, illegal immigrants are also costing our country over $113 billion in health care, according to President Donald Trump. For starters, the average cost to birth a child in the United States is $8,800 per day, according to Parents.com, and the average number of babies born to unauthorized immigrants are 295,000 yearly. Even more so, many illegal immigrants are working in dangerous job sites, including farming and landscaping services. Farming, although very beneficial to the economy and very satisfying of a job, is and can be very dangerous. Many illegals are working as milkers for dairy farms, which have one of the higher injury rates compared to any other job. With this being said, many workers can be hospitalized, but without insurance and proper documentation, their injuries are covered by none other than at the cost of taxpayers. Under President Donald J. Trump, we could potentially be on the road for a better America. With his firm belief in the problems of illegal immigration accompanied by his desire to make America great again, illegal immigration can and will be a problem of the past. When asked in an interview if he would be willing to deport illegals in a certain described manner, he replied with this.
All right? 2 American citizen kids. All right? You got 2 illegal alien parents. They're living in a house, a little house in the east side of Los Angeles. All of a sudden, ICE agents show up, all right, knock on the door and say, you have to come with us, put them in a van, bring them to a detention center. You're willing to do that?
Bill, I don't want to do it. I have a bigger heart than anybody running, but we have a country that's totally out of control. We have no laws anymore. We have no order. We don't even know how many people are in here illegally. We have to get a process started.
On top of this, President Trump has made plans to construct a wall. The wall will help keep illegals out and continue to keep the illegals that were brought back to their home country from coming back. The idea behind this was to keep illegal immigrants from Mexico out because a majority of our illegal immigrants are from Mexico.
Mr. Trump, it has not escaped anybody's notice that you say that the Mexican government is sending criminals, rapists, drug dealers across the border. Governor Bush has called those remarks, quote, extraordinarily ugly. I'd like you're right next to him, talk to him directly and say how you respond to that, and you have repeatedly said that you have evidence that the Mexican government is doing this, but that you have evidence you have refused or declined to share. Why not use this first Republican presidential debate to share your proof with the American people?
So, if it weren't for me, you wouldn't even be talking about illegal immigration, Chris. You wouldn't even be talking about it. This was not a subject that was on anybody's mind until I brought it up at my announcement, and I said Mexico is sending. Except the reporters, because they're a very dishonest lot, generally speaking, in the world of politics, they didn't cover my statement the way I said it. The fact is, since then, many killings, murders, crime, drugs pouring across the border, our money going out and the drugs coming in. And I said, we need to build a wall, and it has to be built quickly. And I don't mind having a big, beautiful door in that wall so that people can come into this country legally. But we need, Jeb, to build a wall. We need to keep illegals out.
Without proper actions, we could possibly start to lose our country. In Europe, for example, the general Muslim population, refugees, illegals, and legals included, increased a percentage point per year, which equates to roughly 1.4 million people per year. With this being said, the Europe that we have come to know will no longer be Europe, but a Muslim-heavy country by the time of 2030. On top of this, the political views of Muslims and Europeans tend to be very different, with a gap of about 30% between the left and the right wing. With their population increasing, we could possibly see not only a physically different Europe, but also a governmental and infrastructural difference. With all this being said, we must also keep in mind that we cannot exert such pressure and force that we come off in a threatening and dehumanizing way. America was built on the idea of believing who you want to believe in, being who you want to be, and being able to start a new life. Even though illegal immigrants have entered the United States, not all of them are necessarily causing problems. For those people who want to start a better life or can even claim asylum, then my belief is that we should work with them to let them stay here as fully documented citizens. In Europe, specifically Sweden, the Muslims have felt threatened by the government and therefore resented to rioting and attacking the general public as well as news reporters. To prevent this, we need to carefully come up with a process to deport illegal immigrants who are not serving our country and to work with those who indeed need a brighter and better future. All in all, the problem with illegal immigration in the United States could ultimately result in the loss of our country, the loss of what we stand for, and the loss of why we were created. We need to act in a professional yet precise manner that lets us handle the situations of deportation in a non-threatening way. If we were to forcibly push out all the illegals without explanation, then my firm belief is that we will continue to lose track of who we are and why the United States was started. To be a melting pot for the world and to start a new and brighter future with equal opportunities for everybody. Thank you for listening to my video, and here are the sources so you can check my facts.